What's going on, brothers and sisters? We are mucus-free. Welcome, everybody, to the Mucus-free Life podcast. I am Professor Spira, coming at you from Columbus, Ohio, and give it up one time for the man, the myth, the legend, Brother Air.
Yes, hello, everyone. Hope everyone is in a good mood to hear some things that could, that they could come after us about. But.
Yeah. I would say right now, if this video could be taken down, parts of it, if there's little gaps in it that we had to cut stuff out, is gonna be one of them days. One of them days will probably be a lot of technical issues. Just get ready. Because we at war now. We at war.
Really,
for
man.
real.
It's really like declaration of war. I mean, and if you're not looking at it like that, it's no going back. It's no going back to the way it was. You bought into this thing and to buying into this American myth. You soldiers, you retirees, you patriots, and now it's on. You dig?
Yeah.
Draw your line in the sand. You dig? So
it's deep.
We are 100% sure that the information that we're talking about are the way that we feel about what's going on in the world in terms of this virus, pandemic, charade. We're 100% sure that we're correct.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no myths. There's no, well, maybe there's some truth. No, there's no truth to none of this. The truth doesn't have anything to do with none of this. This is all about false information. Everybody that's positive with keeping this charade up is about false information. Everything that come out of their mouth is false. It's false.
Yeah, and they're getting desperate now. I mean, they're getting real. They're getting real desperate. Because last week, if you guys got a chance to see the video, I got a demonstration at the Ohio State House, which I'll probably play a little bit of it here in a second, but resisting Ohio's stay-at-home order. So what I said is exactly what happened, where they're trying to pin this on and frame this as kind of radical right-wing extremist, are the main people involved, and that it's just so insane. And there's all these other little tactics. I'm gonna go ahead and get into this. I'm gonna show you. Let me change up the screen situation here so we can better get into some of this stuff. So check this out. So this is from last week's protest, which I was at. I do not know why this is acting. See, everything's acting funny. All right, so here's this footage. So I actually met, these cats were cool. I actually met the one dude. But look at this, how they selectively take images. Like this was already over. Right here, like when they took this footage, it was either already over or it was like right at the beginning. There was way more people there than this, but this is what they're showing. On top of that, which totally just blew my mind that they're being this ingenuous at this point, and it shouldn't, because I'm a student of propaganda, the history of propaganda, but they're blowing my mind. So what they did?
Where are they getting their information? Where are people?
Hold on. Let me get through this, because this is gonna be a whole thing here. So this says, oh wait, did they change the? They might. In fact, I bet they changed this headline, because this used to read, that the protesters said freedom over safety. They've changed it, and this is literally in the last hour, because I was looking at this an hour ago, and they still had the original text where it claimed that the protesters said that we were chanting freedom over safety. Now, in what that who can believe that? That makes no sense. Like, freedom over safety. What? I mean, and when I saw that, I was like, what the chant was freedom over fear. Freedom over fear. That was the chant. And for them to, let me see if I got another. I can't, and that's interesting that they changed that. Let me see if, let's see. Yeah, they had, which makes sense that they would change that. Okay, here we go. The title is still in the main Google. Protesters chant freedom over safety outside Ohio State House. I was there. No, they did not. No, we did not at any point chant freedom over safety. This is a blatant lie, a blatant, and I've avoided using the term fake news, because that's sort of like a kind of a right-wing talking point. So I try to leave a lot of them talking points alone, because it's a whole other problem. But here we go. This is protesters chant freedom over safety, and they've changed it. Just like I said, they've changed it in the last hour to freedom and safety are not mutually exclusive, saying, I guess that's what Governor DeWine said. Now, again, remember we were talking about the number of people. So let's look at my video, which and I even got there a little bit late. There was probably more people there. So we're just going to watch it, just a couple seconds, a few minutes of my video real quick. So I was driving down, so first I did the drive through honking the horn. And you can see there's a lot more people in my footage that's standing there than in their footage. The propaganda footage. We got the soccer moms. That was what I was really trying to make a point of. It's like, does she look like a Nazi or a white nationalist? Like, nah, that's like a soccer mom. That was not the vibe there at all, and that's what the media has been trying to portray this thing, like it's this hate mongering. All these, these scary people, and it's anti-Semitic and all that. That is straight lies. That was not the vibe at all. And you can see all these people. Then this footage. All right, so compare this. See how many people are standing here in that frame versus these little lame, like, before, when it was over. That was, hold on. What? Are you you serious? I wish this was easier to do these split screens. Come on. Look at this. This is outrageous. There we go. All right. So here we go. Here's mine, and I actually got some of my footage for the video from someone else that was on Facebook. And let's see, hold on a second. So you can see here all these people versus this was the representative of news media really trying to make this look like there's like 5 people that showed up, and again totally false, them claiming that that's what was being chanted, that freedom over safety. I mean, that's so when you start to see this is letting you know they're getting desperate. They are definitely getting, and this is just like the tip of the iceberg, and we ain't gonna go through all the different variations and versions of the buffoonery that is that's happening. But just goes to show that man, like I said, if you're not protesting something in this corrupt, sick society, then you're not doing your civic duty. You're not. I mean, seriously, if you ain't protesting something,
you're not trying to put this thing in the dustbins of history, then you're not doing you would say your civic duty, huh? It's just like like totally militant people. That's who we should be. Just these people are diabolical, sinister, and it's heavy, man. It really gives me an understanding about what I have to do now. How I have to a certain orientation I have to carry now with that I have to be with friends and acquaintances. It's going to be very, 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 very hard to hang, because we have a thing here in Cincinnati where they a spot where they can go, where you can drive up and get checked for the virus in the black community. And
oh wow,
very good friends of ours is heading up this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I mean, this is a perfect example of how you hear in the black community or just in history that black people sold slaves, black people helped sell slaves into slavery.
Right.
You've heard that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the modern version of it. So what you can do once you see the pandemic is just going crazy in the black community because of these drive-ups. So we know they can fudge the numbers, but first you gotta get the testing going.
Right.
And so this is a way to create the whole fear and make the pandemic even more grandiose, but you gotta have some deaf, dumb, and blind black folks leading the deaf, dumb, and blinder black folks, to the slaughter. So this is what you have. So it's just a modern day kind of black folks selling their own people into slavery. And so it's almost like you can see just how it took place 500 years ago. They didn't know. They so dumb. They don't know. They think they're doing something good.
Right.
You dig? They think they're really helping humanity. They're the kind of black folks that like to sit up around white folks and go to their little socials and go to their little parties and the biggest mucus and pus eaters around. So you see the common denominator of all this is mucus and pus is forging this ahead.
Right.
You dig?
Yeah.
You ain't seeing no green, no fruits and green leafy plant type people in the center of this and waging war on human beings. It's mucus and pus. So I was asking you before we got started about did you have a picture of the Revenge of the Nerds?
Oh, I didn't get that up yet.
But that's Fauci and even DeWine and Gates. This is like a bad movie. Like they're living out this revenge thing. Of how they were treated. So this whole time in 2020 could be called Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's what you could call this whole episode of what's going on, man. It's look at those guys, man, and put up a picture of Revenge of the Nerds, and then put up a picture of Fauci and Gates and DeWine, our governor here in Ohio, and look at that. Boy, if a group of cats didn't qualify for nerdism, then that would be it, man. And it's kind of like takes it's disheartening for me as a man to have these little punks kind of leading and kind of running things, and running me and running my women and my woman and this, what I mean? It's like they're making decisions, and so that deflates our whole little manhood. If you claim to be this this noble type of brother, so it really is it's a sad it's a sad day in the world. What you say in the neighborhood, Mr. Rogers.
Yep, that's this is the the age of the nerd. I mean, it kind of
it is.
It is kind of is what it is. That's the thing about drones and clones and this kind of technology is if you can design it, you can rule. If you can design your army, you don't have to use leadership and sort of that projection of the old school generals, and it's like, nah, I'll build an army of clones and we can take over whatever we want.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I've been saying, it's like a lot of stuff happening now. I mean, we've been talking about a lot of this kind of stuff for a long time, and so they're demonstrating and I don't know if you've seen some of these other things where they show you so there's one of these, and it has the facial recognition so that it doesn't shoot the friendlies, even if the friendlies are beating its butt. And
yeah, man. See that whole thing, man. Just how sick do you have to be, man, to start to develop something like that?
And this is what I mean. You don't have to.
The sickness goes so deep at that point. It's gonna turn so poisonous in blood that it's not even no kind of medical term you could use for that kind of insanity type of physiology. Because with the drive up testing, why couldn't they have the same things? Why couldn't they have drive up, like building your immunity, like where you drive up and people could test your immune system,
right, or
something, and say, hey, you need to eat more of this or do more exercise. It's something that but we just so this deaf culture is so insidious and we're so steeped in it that these handkerchief head black folks would be a part of setting something up like that in the community and thinking that they're doing our community some good. It's instead of the other side of it and say, hey, why can't we have a spot where we can talk about health? You can drive up and talk about your health, about getting it together, about eating more fruits and more vegetables and passing out boxes of apples or boxes. Why can't they be a part of that? No, but they want to be a part of keeping the lie alive. What do you say? Keeping the lie alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, keep the lie alive, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, keep the, let's see, let me find this footage.
No such thing as no coronavirus that kills people, that flies through the air like this magical and a 6 feet type of radiance. Come on, man, this is so corny. I mean, it's just corny. It's just ridiculous, the things we believe. And putting on a mask, oh man, you know, mask ain't gonna protect you from nothing. If anything, it's gonna hurt you. That mask is probably keeping in germs that's attacking you. You know?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, you're not getting that oxygen flow that you're supposed to get. You know, you ain't getting it.
So I mean, it's like we're just moving so blindly, like, you know, zombies. You know, a whole nation of zombies. It really let me down. I mean, really, kind of, as far as the way I feel about humanity and people around me, man. It's just, I'm just, you know, really having a problem. Just looking folks in the eye, man. Just, you know, just, you dig? It's bad, man. What do you say? It's bad. You know, so yeah, man.
Yeah. So
we need to talk about some things that we need to do. You know what I was thinking about, Spira, about the Earth Day celebration?
Yeah.
We should think about turning it into a camp. Like, let's go camping. Maybe let's learn about how to survive, and not a lot of money involved. We just pick a spot where we want to go, and just, some tents, and and I mean, it's something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Because this thing kind of threw a wrench in our kind of locomotion, because we were in the midst of putting it together. Right. Putting the Earth Day together, and it kind of did something to it, as far as our plans, just our feeling of doing it, it just. Right. And so I thought about maybe we can find a campsite, which I know they done closed down campsite, but somebody got some property that we can camp on, and meet up and learn those skills, and then we'll really see who's ready to get in the trenches. We can really tell who's ready now to build this so-called paradise. We'll see, folks, be like, man, I need this and I need that. No, you got to use the bathroom. You got to go right over there. So I think it'd be a great little testing ground, for us, especially to see who's for real. You really ready to get off the grid?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's an idea. Yeah, we had to see if it's
something to think about. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's viable.
I was just thinking about the money. It wouldn't take a lot of money to do that. And I think people, pick a spot and everybody just get there.
One thing I wanted to go over this video, so I'm real quick. So I'm gonna keep, you see me and Brother Air, we're reviewing it, so you'll see us at the top reacting to this video, and I say that because I have a feeling that I'm gonna get a copyright, because I'm gonna go ahead and play the audio. I was trying to decide, do I want to play the audio or not, and because the second half of this little video clip is a video of one of the manufacturers of the this new Brave New World 1984 technology. And so if you don't see that, like if you don't see, if there it seems like it would cut off or something and skipped over it, then I had to cut out a part of it for copyright, because they tried to get the video taken down. So which they shouldn't, because fair use, if you're going by those documents of fair use, then you're supposed to be able to review and critique items, and as long as it's not the whole video, it's edited into just little parts of it. So anyway, with all that said, this is something that is letting you know that this is real. Like, what's happening is real. And so those of us that bring up, and when I say, I'll throw out words like, 1984 and Brave New World and, the Hunger Games and Maiden's Tale. And, there's all these dystopian, the dystopian literature tradition. And, and I hope, if you don't know, like, this is the perfect time, not everybody has had the access to either good teachers that would frame these things properly, because a lot of people probably tried to read these books and thought they were boring, because that is the way it's framed within the educational system. Is you end up hating reading coming out of school, because they're forcing you to read stuff and not really giving you a context, and there's no purpose to it. But then they'll slip in some real stuff, and it misses a lot of people. So I would encourage you, if you've never read like Brave New World by Huxley, or 1984, Orwell, or any of those on that list, take some time, read those books, or listen to the audiobooks. So most of the audiobooks are available on right on YouTube. But check them out and really analyze what's happening in there, because it's giving you a vision. That's the power of that literature tradition, is able to use logic and create this imaginary world. And what those authors did was show you, like, if things don't change, this could be the reality. And the unfortunate thing is they're more right than wrong with the predictions. And so with that said, let's take a look at this.
Battle against COVID-19, drones could soon be monitoring your health from above, monitoring everything from social distancing to your heart rate. But what about your privacy? Eyewitness News reporter Dan Kraft gives us an exclusive look at technology now being put to use in a local community.
As communities look to try to safely reopen society, one local police department is using new technology to make that happen. And all you have to do is look up to find it. It's called a pandemic drone, and you'll find it hovering above popular places in Westport, Connecticut. As you can see outside this grocery store, it can measure whether people are social distancing. The circles determine if they're 6 feet apart. Green's good, red's bad.
There shouldn't be a police chief or anybody who's sitting in my seat right now with everything that's going on, not looking for a way to do things differently.
The police chief's taking part in a 3-month pilot program. They're using the technology now to make sure people are keeping their distance.
If you're scanning an area and you're seeing that a problem exists, that might be an area that you want to put more of your resources at.
The drones are also equipped with technology that can help determine everything from breathing to heart rate to coughing, even fever. It changes color.
I'm absolutely very sensitive to privacy issues.
Canadian-based company behind the technology says it isn't designed to identify people. It's designed to identify patterns.
This doesn't mean it can't identify people.
Data, and be able to give us better data to make more clear decisions.
Decisions in the town of Westport that has experienced a spread of the virus in a county that has more than 40% of positive cases in the state. One of a handful of pandemic drones being launched across the country.
Technology there, but there's a lot of variables with that too. This is where this data has to prove itself before we move to the next step.
They'll be testing out this new technology over the next 3 months before deciding whether or not to keep it.
Dragonfly's public health and safety system uses standard 4K cameras to provide anonymized data on social distancing, heart rate, respiratory rate, and fever detection. all in the service of providing population health data to public safety officials.
They deep, boy.
This system and our work with public safety officials is so important because never again do we want to be in a situation where we're having to make such drastic guesses for such tremendous decisions that affect not just human lives, but also the economy and the world population. And with this type of data available to our public safety officials on basically creation of an early warning system for public health, then and only then are we going to be in a position to never have to be faced with this again. We have been pleasantly overwhelmed by the positive feedback and response from public safety agencies all over the country.
We have been pleasantly overwhelmed by the positive feedback and response from public safety agencies all over the country.
Oh, man.
Begun, the Clone War has. I like that quote. So, this is terrifying, and those of you I know a lot of you knew it was coming, but this was the first time where I really saw it weaponized in the United States. This technology has been used for a while, along with the fake facial recognition aspects of it in China.
Trader Joe's of all places.
Against COVID-19, drones could soon be monitoring your health from.
What you doing out there?
Yeah, well, I mean, but the thing is, Trader, they might not have had I mean, if this is just a county thing, they might not even have a choice. If this is just monitor, if you're in this township, and they just anywhere.
Well, think about it. Think about if you just sneeze in public. They could.
Yeah, it'd be like,
They could interpret that as being infected.
Right.
You know, you could infect others, and all of a sudden somebody come and grab you off the street.
Right.
You know? I mean, this could really get hideous, man. You know, like. You know, man.
Yeah. Like I said before, if you're not protesting,
right,
you're not participating in whatever you think this is. If you think it's a democracy, if you think it's a country and a society, whatever you think this is, if you're not fighting against this tooth and nail, then then don't complain when this is the new reality, because it is. It is going in this direction faster than you could imagine.
Talking about drawing your line in the sand. So it's no kind of, well, maybe if I coulda, woulda, well, no. Either you gonna be against this, or else you gonna be a victim of it, because you're never gonna be with it, because you're not what do you say? You're not in the club.
Right. Yeah. You're not
in the club. So you're going to be a victim, or else you're going to be somebody who's trying to combat it. And we have drawn our line in the sand.
And this is,
are very serious about, fighting, man. I mean, to the point where, okay, we're gonna get into our physiology on a level that others aren't, but at the same time, if it goes there, we're willing to go there too.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna do whatever we have to do to maintain our sanity and our cleanliness. And so the blood, that's what this is about, the bloodline. And if you don't make a stand now, it's gonna affect your bloodline 100 years from now.
Yeah.
It's gonna affect your bloodline. And so that's why this should be serious to you, because you should want to be about cleanliness. You should want to be about being kind. You should want to be about beauty and being humble and serving. That's because all this other stuff doesn't have anything to do with life. Life is about serving something.
Yeah.
Other than yourself. That's it. Life doesn't do anything. What else is it? What else is it? Well, I can just sit here and look at my laurels and sit on my laurels. Oh, I'm this and that. No, it's about serving, man. You know, serving humanity in some way that that you can elevate. And so I refuse to be this wicked.
Yeah.
I refuse to be this wicked, and I just feel like I have to say something. If those are deaf, dumb, and blind, then our job is to try to wake them up, try to help them see a little clearer. I'm always, and I know Spira's always trying to put ourselves around those who see more than us and who are clearer than us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And who are cleaner than us. So I mean, that's our goal. So yeah, man, it's on, man. It's on like it ain't never been on. And I'm not having no discussion with no nothings who are talking about I put up a post and they brother Air, but people who know my real name, people I grew up with, are trying to tell me, and they're a bunch of folks who are sitting around getting checks. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they're retired, they're getting checks, and so and they're pussy, they're mucus and pussy. Everybody that had a problem with the things I was saying on Facebook, because that's the only social media that I do, as they were all mucus and pus eaters, every one of them.
Right.
Trying to guard their mucus and pus supply.
Right.
You dig? And so they don't know that what they were trying to guard is going to attack them, and they're going to be victims.
Yeah.
So, you say some people gotta die. I don't know why. Well, I know why. Ignorance, profound ignorance, and the elders in the community have to admit that they made bad judgment on loving this place, and they have to admit that. Come clean. Get on the chat. And chat with us, the elders. Tell us, y'all have to admit that y'all made bad judgment. This is a wicked, dishonest, sad time. This is a sad time that we are around so many people who have this much influence of us in a negative way, that we have to walk around with masks, close up everything. These just a very few people are making the masses. How crazy is that?
Yeah, a handful of people.
A handful of people.
Yeah.
Is making the masses jump through hoops.
Yeah. Yep.
Kill yourself.
Yep.
We don't want you here. We want you to kill yourself. And so it saddens me, man, because I got to be around the citizens and try to socialize, and I'm not socializing on their terms anymore. Yeah. I'm real hardcore now. Brothers and sisters, certain characteristics are not accepted here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not accepted. I'm not listening to the bull. I'm not listening to it. I'm not having any kind of conversation about see it my way. You don't have no way. If you're not talking about cleanliness, you're not talking about trying to get your blood clean, trying to clean yourself up to do better, then we're not discussing it. Well, if it works for you, well, no, that old metaphoric bullshit that they coming up with, cliche crap.
Yeah.
Let's pray. Y'all prayed us here. That's where y'all done prayed us to. Prayed us right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you and your gods. You right here. You know, so we need to really relearn ourselves. And I know it's hard to throw down all these beliefs, that whole belief system. It's over. Your belief system is walking around with masks on, being told to go here. You can't go here. This is closed. Your belief system don't work. You know, it's over. It's over. You are being ran by a bunch of nerdy little punks. You being told what to do. I don't want to hear about no religion, because that's not what you following. They're not. I don't see these deities, you know, on Fox News and you know, and telling y'all to do all this. No, I see exactly. It's like Fox News is like a major source of information, and I remember when Fox was hitting, when they first came out with their, you know, the big news service. I think it was Murdoch, and he was like a tabloid type of cat, man, coming out of the world of tabloid type of journalism, right? Like Bigfoot and
right,
you know, and aliens.
Yeah.
So to see Fox News be a source of information that you should be listening to, that is the truth.
Yeah, where they tried to transition to this legitimate.
Yeah, no, they didn't try to transition. They didn't try to transition. They kept up the same crap. This is the same foolishness. This is the same foolishness, man.
Well, what's fascinating to me though is when you look at it's like when I'm seeing all the different sources of news and media, they're tweaked for different people's personalities, but it's like they're able to get you to the same place. But if you're the type of personality that needs hope, and they'll sort of, those like CBS or something, they'll frame it in kind of a, you know, they're talking about maybe they're gonna ease up restrictions in a few weeks, and won't that be nice? Won't that be nice that they let us go outside again? You know, I want to thank the governor for all the work.
They give you all the different media outlets, give you all the desires of everybody. but they
because they know it's like, well, and then I was listening to like NPR, which that's a little bit more framed for kind of the intelligentsia and the aristocratic kind of, you know, people that graduated college class of people, you know. So they did this long, on the protest, they did this long sort of intellectual unraveling, but there was the same propaganda, just they made theirs look a little bit more complex and a little bit more, like we said, nerdy, and so... So that's what's fascinating me, is because they know they have to really pin all of the uprising, because the uprisings are being led by more right-wing type of thing. And like I've been saying, I never thought that I would ever agree with some of these right-wing, radical right-wing people, because they're not, you know, when it's on any other topic, they're not with us, you know, when we out talking about racism and police brutality, and that's the kind of stuff that we usually are protesting, or even to ban. If you're going to ban something, you know, let's ban meat and slaughterhouses, you know what I mean? So that's the kind of stuff that we be protesting, and so they will never show up to any of that. But for this, you know, and it's like all the people that we're used to being around, kind of the left-wing type of activists, man, they're such a disappointment. I mean, they just put their head in the sand. They're all along. I'm like, hold on a second. Like yesterday, you was talking about, you know, all this freedom and revolution, and now you're talking about stay home, stay safe.
Do for self and
Come on,
and
man.
unity and all this. Oh man, don't trust them. All these devils and oh man. I mean, it's spanned from you know, the Rastas to the you know, whoever was talking on some militant level, the militia. You know, even some of the militia.
Well, not the white militia, the black militia, because the white militias they're more they riding, you know, they rolling.
This is a chance for them to practice.
Right.
You know, they like, wow, we can get out of the backyard. You know, we can go out in the public and practice, man.
Right.
They're having a good time with this, man. You know, but yeah, the elders, I was saying, the black community are just so. What did I say? I think I said on social media. Now I know who to social distance myself from. You did. So yeah, you elders, man, y'all are, and I guess I would be considered an elder. I'm 60, but those who are my age and older, man, they are just the biggest disappointments. Oh man, I mean, they just here's some slop. Just eat some slop. Just here, you know, just like you feeding horses. Just take a scoopful and throw into the stall, you know. That's the respect I have for them. You know, garbed up and oh man, it's so revolutionary and so militant. Yeah, they dressed up like mummies and walking around scared as, you know. So I mean, it's like I'm glad we found you out before we got in the trenches. Right. You dig? So yeah, boy. He's like, give thanks to those deities. At least they showing your who's for real. Right. You dig? So I'm real glad, you know. So yeah, man. It's gonna be some new ways of thinking, man. About assigning value to things and people. You know, you have to look at it like that, man, and relearn yourself. I mean, I keep saying that, but people are gonna have to relearn themselves, man, for their children's sake, their grandchildren's sake, their great-great-grandchildren's sake. This is about your bloodline. Yeah. And they're trying to destroy you, man. They're trying to end everything that can elevate your life. They're trying to destroy it. You dig? And for those who was living a degenerate life, it's time to regenerate. Take advantage of trying to clean yourself up in terms of what you're putting in your mouth. Clean your rectum up. I know that's hard for you to hear, you know. Oh man, what do you mean clean my rectum up? I'm regular. I eat bran. No. We ain't talking about that. We talking about really controlling what you're putting in your mouth and getting into some enemas, some colonics. Start cleaning yourself up. Start fasting a few days. Get out of this American lifestyle. Just scrap it. You know, a new life culture. Yeah. This is time to start it. This is the time to move into it. You know, take a chance, quit them jobs. We're musicians. We're out of work. Yeah. Yeah, and I forgot to mention that we are accepting tips. we got the tip jar down below, you know, and we say the jar with the tips is out. Yeah, we got the tip jar is out, you know. That's how we make our living, man. It's playing music and doing that, you know, performing. Yeah, playing music for groups of people assembled in a group. Yeah, so and we're only asking those who are working.
Yeah, that can afford it.
Not working.
Yeah.
Because yeah, so donate something, man. Help us, man. We trying. I mean, we're coming to you with this information. This is how we spend our time now. I mean, and we've been doing it. This is what we haven't changed. We still are doing the same thing. We just don't have the income, but we regardless of anybody tip or not, we still are gonna be coming at them like this, talking about these devils, these true devils. And yeah, man, what do you see on the chat, man? You see anybody saying anything?
Nah, I'm about to post up.
Oh,
we was talking about. I'm posting up the link for the donation.
Yeah, if you feel like donating something, man,
Yeah, it's much appreciated. Because
most appreciative. Yeah.
And folks know we normally know we don't be asking like that,
No, man.
But it's like, it's like we said,
you don't have nowhere to go. It ain't like, you can file unemployment. Yeah, that's. Because we didn't, we don't do that. We don't do that. They look at us like, so.
And somebody I'm sure will comment, well, they're putting a program. Yeah, well, the program's not active yet.
I've seen that. Like I say, but we need distilled water. We need lemons. We need, we still got.
Well, and a long time ago, I'd been saying, there's this concept of the universal basic income that got some popularity this season, and I was like, for years I've been saying that everybody, if we're gonna live like this and have this type of large, whatever this is, this big old cluster of society, then, and you are going to have like a whole tax type of situation, then everybody should get like $500 for food, but only fruits and green leafy vegetables. Like you get $5 a month for fruits and green leafy vegetables. Like not cans of Coke, not Snickers bar, not.
So when you would spend that money, the register would cash out, and it would say a green leafy plant or fruit.
Well, it would be
the hot dog.
Well, no, it would be just like the way that the food cards work now, where if you try to buy a toothbrush with the food card, it says no, you can't buy the toothbrush with a food card. It's not food.
Right.
So what I'm saying is $500 a month for every citizen, and it is only for fruits and green leafy vegetables.
That would be
organic fruits and green leafy vegetables, and
that would be for a sane government.
And for people that didn't use didn't want to use it, they could they could give it to somebody that is using it. Like those funds would be shifted over to someone that's using it. But that just make the most sense in terms of, because now you would have a percentage of the population just improving their diet, even if they was eating other crap, that they're just like, well, I got this money, I might as well use it and buy some more fruits and vegetables. That would totally be a paradigm shift and just transform.
Well, I know, like somebody gave me, about 3 weeks ago, gave me a bunch of coupons to these restaurants that were still doing the takeout, and and thought they were doing me, being nice.
Right.
Basically a neighbor, it was a ton of them, man. It was like, free stuff. Nothing that I was halfway interested in. What did I do? I actually walked downtown and gave it to some homeless folks that I know. I know the homeless. because when we go and set up and street perform, we see them. I know them guys, guys and women, So, and these were like, and believe me, I would not be promoting mucus and pus like that, but it was like, I was like, here, I'm gonna just give them to them. At least they could use them at these local places that they could get to and get something to eat free. So, I thought about it and I was like, I sure don't promote mucus and pus. I could have just threw it all away, and just been done with it. Mm-hmm. But I knew even the homeless walk by had dried up,
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, at least they can get them something to eat. I ain't in agreement with what they're eating, but
right,
this stuff was free. So I went and gave it to about 3 of them. Now I know where they are all the time, so I gave it to them, and they were like, "Oh man, great!" They were, so trying to serve, but it was kind of a mixed emotion there, but so.
Yeah, it is deep stuff going on, to bear witness to this, this
things have changed, man. Things have changed.
Yeah.
Things have changed. And if you have not changed or thinking about like your life has to change drastically, this is probably as bad as Hitler with the gas chamber stuff. This is where it can go. They're trying to kill you. They're trying to eliminate you from the face of the earth.
Yeah.
So when you talk about the Holocaust, well, the Jewish Holocaust, people, oh man, it was so okay. Well, this will make that look like little playtime.
Yeah.
This is how epic this move is. I mean, we're talking about some cats, the Revenge of the Nerds that will make Hitler look like Little Lord Fauntleroy.
Yeah.
We talking about some wicked cats, man. That that's talking about the world. They're not talking about a country or an ethnicity. They're talking about we want to just wipe out a whole population of people. Just we want to take it down to here. This is where we feel comfortable with this many people occupying the earth.
Yeah.
That's heavy when it gets to that point.
Yeah, man.
Fauci and you start doing your research on him, man, and this dude was just straight off his rocker. From where he comes from and his past and the things that he was in charge of and be a part of, to be heading up the World Health Organization right now is just insanity, man. It's like this dude, with his background, still the Margaret Sangers and that whole vibe is still in effect. We want to get rid of folks, so.
Yeah. So what's been going on with your fasting? You've been fasting? Has that kind of been the order of the day? Because ain't nothing else to kind of do.
That's all you can do. It's a little bit of force fast.
Yeah, it is.
You can't buy food. You don't eat. But that's good to have the capacity to do this. You know?
Yeah.
But like I say, keep me in some distilled water and some lemons. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good, man. I can keep it going. Some toilet tissue. Not that I have to have mass amounts of it. You know, like how I went a month ago where people were just going nuts over toilet tissue, which I couldn't figure it out. But you know, like I think Brother Danny put it the best. He said, you know, the in prison, toilet tissue is a high commodity.
Right.
So so us feeling like prisoners, we kind of stocked up, you know. So I was like, okay, I get it. So yeah, man, I'm hanging, man. You know, feeling good. Actually got a box of lemons coming, man. Somebody donated me a box of lemons, man.
Okay.
Brother Khalid. And so I'm waiting. My son just told me while we had started up going live, and he kind of slipped me a note, said, man, I'm going to pick those lemons up. Because I'd asked him and he had told me no, he couldn't do it yesterday, and then it got late and then we got to doing some things and I ended up staying out. And so he just said that he was going to try to pick them up. So yeah, thank you, Brother Khalid, you know, for his donation. you know, so.
Yeah, it's deep times. I mean, what do you say? It's kind of you either know it at this point, you know, you doing the research, and because like we was talking about earlier, you know, I remained objective as long as I could. You know, I kind of just was like, all right, let's watch this. You know, I'm calculating the numbers. I'm gonna do this math, and we're gonna kind of figure this out. And even still, if I still use their numbers, it's still weak. I mean, it still don't make no sense.
Super weak. It's super weak. It's super weak, man. And right from the get go, I was where I'm at right now. You know, I knew the kind of move they was trying to make. You know, it was like, oh, okay, this is checkmate. They're trying for the checkmate.
Right.
You know, this is no pawns and no rooks, and no, you know, this is the checkmate move here.
Right. Yeah. And so here's their numbers, and there's so many. I mean, there's so many whistleblowers and doctors that are coming out. Oh, I gotta activate the share. But there's so many whistleblowers at this point that like doctors and people that are saying like these tests. They're not, in some cases, they ain't even testing people. If they come in and you got cold and flu-like symptoms or you blowing your nose, they just, coronavirus, you got it, COVID-19.
Right.
And this is doctors. This ain't like, you know, somebody on a YouTube. It's doctors that's down there that's saying some of this stuff. But I'm just...
Right. That's what, I mean, if you see them on there, one sister, she said she went in and she said she was in the hospital with her phone, and she said, hey, they said I got coronavirus. I haven't even took the test yet.
Right, right.
I'm like, man, could this be more ridiculous and more silly and more, you know, how insidious this thing is, man. You know, like some ass kickings should you know, a few people need some real exterminations, I guess you could say. But I mean, this is like, man, you know, we say get them before they get you. Is it like that now? So,
well, like I said, they need to come to Professor Spira's Rehabilitation Center, where we will. You know, like we said, the daily enema lemon colonics, and and just however years at hard lemon, at hard lemons.
Yeah. Well,
but this was what I was looking at this time. Is this So now, if you believe their numbers, and again, I'm just saying, just to see, is like, okay, these are the number of people that they're saying that are dying, and every day, which already, and this, based on, this is on the right is the 2016 cause of death study, and they had the years, and so then I broke it down into months and days. And, cardiovascular disease, almost 50,000 people a day die cardiovascular disease, 25,000 cancer, 10. Now, this respiratory disease and lower respiratory infection, for some reason, they got those two separated, but you might as well combine them to put about 16,000 people a day of that. So now, if we got coronavirus is, if you just kind of look general, it looks like on average 6,000 people a day is what they're saying people are dying of coronavirus. Well, how many of those people are, since they're not testing properly, and since the tests themselves are highly questionable, how many of those you already on a normal basis have 6,500 people dying a day of just lower respiratory infections, 10,000 a day dying of respiratory disease. And so again, these are the numbers that we shutting everything down again. Correction. We didn't shut down Dairy Queen, Baskin Robbins, Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger King. We didn't shut them down. But they're highly responsible for this 50,000 cardiovascular deaths a year, these 25,000 or a day, 25,000 cancer deaths a day.
What happened to the old classics, man? The leukemia, the cancers. What happened?
Well, I mean, they're on the list. they're happening.
What about the heart attacks? Whatever happened to them? Everybody's dying of corona. Nobody's dying of strokes no more, heart attacks. That just, It
was like I said, I'd seen, which I wish I'd have to do some research to go find that clip, but there was they were interviewing some New York firefighters, and the firefighter was sad that there was 13 people dead in their home, that they went and found the people dead in their home, and he said they had died of heart attacks, but he was blaming the COVID-19. Like, well, wait. First of all, I know that the firefighters had the medical license to declare that these people were dead because of the COVID-19.
They don't. But it's like everybody. Keep the lie alive. Everybody's in on it.
Right.
So wasn't no medical professionals saying, "Oh, don't listen to that firefighter. He don't know what he's talking about."
Right. Yeah.
You didn't hear that.
Right. He just went along with it. So it's like, the evidence for anybody that is, it's I mean, much like the Mucusless Diet Healing System, it's like the evidence is there, the information is there. If you are somebody that you're trying to be objective and open-minded and being like, all right, let me just not rashly change what I believe because I heard a couple people talking about it on YouTube, and so I'm saying, well, then I encourage that research, but you have to know how to research from differing perspectives and different kind of agencies. You can't be like watching the mainstream corporate media sources or looking at the mainstream, medical documentations and stuff and think that you're doing research. You have to
don't know
dig.
What to believe, man. There's so much stuff coming at you, man. It's so much, with this internet and television, it's just so much stuff coming at you. You don't know what to believe, especially when you don't have any kind of firm footing on no kind of belief. I don't believe in anything, really. And that's the kind of people that that these things are affecting, is those who just I can tell you that you're sick. Oh, I feel all right. No, you're sick.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. Wait a minute. I feel all right. Oh no, you sick. Wait a minute. Just a little NyQuil and I'll be all right. Good night rest and I'll be refreshed. No, you got this and we gotta put you on. Next thing you know, they're dead. So these are some wicked. You're dealing with some wicked.
And what's
imagine getting just going to the hospital, like having a situation where you have to go to the hospital right now. Just imagine the crapshoot you're shooting.
Yeah.
It could be for a sprained ankle or a broken leg. It could, you could have a broken ankle and come out of there, with respirator on.
Yeah.
Maybe you won't come out. I mean, this is real scary times, man, and you have to be very suspect of people, and I think earlier when you were talking about just being so disappointed in the elders, man, in the community, it just, man, that they, and they're the ones that they're trying to get out. I mean, they're using them as examples because they know they don't have long, so that they use them as to say, well, they died of COVID-19. They, well, damn, they're 88 years old and they've been in the hospice for 2 months, and it's like,
yeah.
I mean, it's
well, and that's, I mean, from the very beginning, that was those stories were there where people that were being diagnosed as dying from this. I think in Italy, something like 99.9 or something % of the people that were diagnosed or considered to having died of this had 1 to 3 other chronic illnesses already diagnosed and above the age of 70. And so it's like, and that's what I mean by
they leave that out.
They leave them details out. And what's particularly sad is for people that are losing loved ones and loved ones going into hospital. There ain't, you can't have funeral. I don't know what they're doing. I mean, you can't have not a normal funeral. I don't know what they're doing. I'd have to research that. I don't know if they're
the funeral homes are getting paid to do less.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what if people are actually gathering there, or if they're doing video, like live stream.
I've heard they're trying to do live stream
funerals.
It's morbid. It's very morbid. Whatever they're doing, it's super morbid. And I guess they're cremating. Cremating and they have special caskets that are not really like the caskets that we know. They're supposed to be caskets that won't infect the ground. Once you put the people in it won't. It's just some bamboozle.
Totally ridiculous. Yeah. Well, and I mean, you want to talk about a racket? I mean the whole death funeral racket, man. I mean, you talking about when you talk about wicked. I mean, you want to talk about some wicked, man. I mean, you taking people that at the lowest of low in their life, just losing a loved one, and you trying to sell these $10,000 caskets, with like gold trim and got chrome this
telling you, well, this one costs more because it won't leak.
Yeah. It won't leak, and
who cares?
It's like,
and I was in charge of my mother's and my sister, and my uncle basically was there, but I was in charge. I was the one who was going to sign off on it. And they just had this these arguments, because I wanted to go with like, okay, that's a decent looking casket. It was very cheap, but it would look like a casket to me. It was shiny. It was,
yeah,
you know, it wasn't nothing that was gonna be disrespectful, you know. And they wanted to spend $5,000 more on something just because it doesn't leak and it doesn't. I was like, man, y'all listening to these clowns? We got into it, man. I mean, we really got into it, and me and my sister and my uncle really got into it about all that, and so yeah, man, the funeral home just sit there and make money on these caskets that's worth. I know a friend who used to make drums over in Hollywood, Kentucky, right across the river. He used to make drum sets, and then he went into the making caskets. So he kind of filled me in on what, you know, how much caskets are worth, and and it's like, man, he's like, man, these people are getting over like casket. You could put a casket together for a couple $100, you know, and craftsmanship and everything. He's like, you know, they're charging $4,000 and $5,000 and $7,000 for just the casket, man. So that, yeah, rackets, you know.
Yeah. I mean, from the once you get, it's like the, you know, getting caught in the system. Once you in the from hospital to tens of thousands of dollars a day. I mean, when you go to the, you go to
look at the funeral directors. Look at what kind of people they are.
Well, I mean, I don't. I mean,
well, you know, if you're interested in a racket, you pretty much are mucus and pus oriented. You know, if you know, well, I can do this, you know, and make the racket even bigger. You know, there's one racket here. They do a for this corona. They do a preacher of the month. This funeral home. They do a preacher of the month. They go on radio and they announce that they're going to be at somebody's church, can be the preacher of the month. They go to the church. Basically, it's just a big advertisement for their funeral home at the church, but they choose a preacher of the month. And they go out, and the talk show host, local talk show host, goes with them, and they do a big presentation, gives them a little award or a plaque or whatever it is. That's their promotion, is to create preachers of the month, because churches have people dying. So, hell, use our funeral home, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
Well, and the other point, and that was, you know, you got a loved one that's passing away. You know, a lot of people want to be with them, you know, be at their side, and they taking that away from you. Unless they, I guess you, I don't know if what policies are out there, if they put you in a hazmat suit or what, but I would imagine that'd be the only way, because they're so scared of this, the virility of this.
Yeah, that would be interesting to know how that plays out now.
Yeah. I mean,
I know I was there with my mother, you know, like holding her hand, and
right.
My sister,
and that's what I'm saying. They're taking that away from a lot of people. You know, they're taking that away from a lot of people. You know, that because I'm pretty sure that's not allowed. You know, that's restricted. You know, and so that's that larger context, man. That's what the people that are trying to be on the other side of the argument, you know, that there's not enough analysis on their end. You know, the analysis really thinking through the insanity of this whole situation, because it's unprecedented. You know, they like you were saying, you ain't never seen nothing like this in your life. And
right, and that's why I feel like it's affecting me to change in a certain manner. This is a new life direction, new morality, new values, new, you know, just wipe the slate clean of all this old aspirations. You know, now it's a whole new list of things that some might have been there. You know, some of the list might be things, you know, but yeah, man, you know, I think the biggest part for me is just I'm just gonna be hard on fellow citizens now, just very hard, man. Just, you know, no jokes, you know, no joking around, you know, no.
Yeah, no, right. Yeah, no. Yeah.
No kind of small talk with you. You know, it's just, you know, now I'm gonna be really looking to see who's ready to slay the dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, before I know what we're talking about, but before that, I wanted to tell Q I watched his piece yesterday and I liked it. So
yeah,
that's all to you, bro. That was a good job, man.
Yeah.
Especially he was dressed like Prince, man. He had on the glitter, man. He was credit, man. He was on it. Yeah, you know, he was on it. So good job, Q. So hopefully we'll be doing something soon. For our music project. The Cincy Jammers are out today playing, so they're on Facebook. Check them out, the Cincy Jammers. They're doing their thing. They did a thing yesterday. They were in the park. Did you see that?
Yeah. It was was that a drum circle? It looked like a thing was that Ethan's birthday or something?
Yeah, it was Ethan's birthday, and it turned into they had piano, bass, 2 drummers, a bunch of hand drummers, people playing Shaker Rays. So it turned into a band piece, and they said the people at the park started gathering around, and the park ranger, after about a couple hours, shut them down. So, you know, because they were up there it looked like the bandstand.
Yeah.
You know, so, but they played for a while, you know, and I think Hanif was telling me that, you know, he had out his tip bucket, and people were putting money in, and they ended up giving the money to Ethan for his birthday.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're out doing their thing. The Cincy Jammers.
Yeah.
On Facebook, check them out. Donate, help them out, man. They've been at it, man. They go and come back when they tell them don't come back. They come back.
Right. They'd be like, better not see out here, you know. And that's why
they come back. So I like that. You gotta support.
Yeah, support that.
Gonna be, you know, gonna be adversarial. Like, nah, we coming back. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Right. They're like, you guys gotta leave and be right back. You know,
come right back. Yeah. So yeah, man. It's something, man. How we are gonna look at the culture from now on. You know, and depending on where's your forecast of what's gonna be next? How is this thing gonna get crazier?
So I think what's gonna happen is some states are going to start transitioning, and I actually saw a plan for Ohio, but basically there certain companies are gonna open back up sort of with very strict restrictions, so you're going to see a lot of these things on the ground, 6 feet away. Yeah. They got it. There's in the Ohio's plan is like 3 phases, and of course, our phase is last. Like that they ain't even talking about. They're basically saying things like concerts and large gatherings like that they ain't even thinking about letting those happen again. But
isn't that strange, man, that they can just wipe out that kind of activity forever?
What they can do, and let me see if I can find this. Okay, here's this document, because I come on, let me try to bring this up so I can actually look at this, because this was kind of interesting. So this is what is the plan to reopen Ohio? So they got let me try to share this. So we got, say, hospitals. The goal has been to get as many people back to work as safely as possible. Then retail, we're going to look for those business, because they're literally picking and choosing losers at this point. So we're going to look at those businesses that can open and put in place the safety that is needed. Safety might include some reconfiguration. We have some examples of manufacturers who have been open as an essential business, like Dairy Queen and Baskin Robbins. They had a long ass line. I was about to film it, but I was like, I don't got time for this. But at Dairy Queen up the street. But we say
they didn't have to change anything. I guess you just can't sit out at the benches now.
No, you can still sit on the benches. People still sitting on the benches. Okay. Ain't nothing seemed different, except people was maybe standing a little further away from each other in line, but not even there. I mean, and so ain't nothing changed with Dairy Queen. They doing great business right now. So
I know with the Grater's ice cream and stuff, you pretty much just can't sit in there and eat.
Right. Yeah, you can order, but you can't. Yeah. Then it says people will be wearing masks. People will be wearing gloves. When we start moving toward retail, we're going to move retail out again in a situation so people can be safe. The employees can be safe, and the customers who come into retail will be able to be safe. To be safe. So listen for that. You're going to hear that over and over again. That's probably going to be the talking point. To be safe. To be safe. It's not going to be done overnight. We're going to try to get as many people out working as we can as we move forward. We'll have some announcements in regard to that. Now,
so if a restaurant holds 150 people, I guess now they're saying maybe only 50.
Those type of restrictions, yeah, they'll have them kind of restrictions. And let's get down to so we got salons and barbershops, because that's more, we don't care about that, but a lot of people, that's part of their lifestyles. And so you said, so they're still trying to figure that one out. They're we're still just trying to discuss it and try to understand
but that's where black folks are worried about. They're opening those up to kill us, to kill black people.
Okay.
To infect black people. That's why they're opening them up first.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say to that, because that's too the level of.
That's what I'm hearing. That's I wrote a post, man, and 2 or 3 people chimed in on that. Oh man, that's why they're opening all these black places, or black places where black people go, because they're trying to draw us into where we can. I was like, man, you cats are just.
You can't. Yeah, you can't even have a conversation with that type of thing. That's a waste of time. Then it says gatherings, sporting events, concerts, amusement parks. The governor says if you look at some of the things that we all love to do, the big gatherings, coming together for sporting events, coming together for concerts, those are not going to be the first things that open up. Those present the most challenges for social distancing. We're going to do things where we can get the most number of employees back and people working back with the least risk. That's where we're going to start. We all love amusement parks. We all love going to baseball games and doing other things. That hasn't changed.
So is this a thing when once they do that little bit, are they going to say, oh my God, the pandemic is just running rampant now?
So that's my forecast. So then over above, like what they're talking about, what will happen is if they start fiddling with the numbers, they'll give you a little bit, because that's how this conditioning has to work. We are being conditioned. People please understand that. If you don't realize that you're being conditioned right now, then there's not a lot of hope for you. We are being conditioned. Part of conditioning is you can't force. If you're trying to train something, you can't force everything all at once. You have to, beat it a little bit, then ease off. Be kind of nice. Right. Beat it a little bit, ease back off. And you have to slowly get the person into that position of being used to being beat up.
Yes.
And so, and they are like masters at this whole process, and they're really like, and that's why I'm talking about for people that try to resist transition and understanding the transition. I'm saying they know transition, because transition ain't just about diet. Transition is on all levels. And so they understand you can't just force people. There's a limit. There's like a line you can't cross, and they're going right up to that line every day. And then they'll ease up a little bit and make people feel like, go home. And,
well, they're masterful, man. These are chess players, man. Like I say, the ultimate is the checkmate. So this is part of the move. Yeah,
exactly, part of the move. So here's phase 1, which I guess would start like May. And it says all of the nursing homes will still be closed and shut down. Individuals, when in public, should maximize physical distance from others. Social settings of more than 10 people, where appropriate distancing may not be practical, should be avoided unless precautionary measures are observed. So we're going to be talking about the unconstitutional, against human right imposition of assembly. Your right of assembly has been and will continue to be hindered.
Yeah.
And it says avoid socializing in groups of more than 10 people in circumstances that do not readily allow for appropriate physical distancing.
They just pick numbers. I'll just pick
numbers. They just make it like 6. I don't know, 6 feet. They just making it up, and then so it's still really like this first phase isn't too much different than the way things are now. It's like a few more places will open up, but now the norm is going to be this, which is irks me. I haven't been out in public as much during this just because I'm like, I don't have to be. I know how to get what I need and just be away. But when I went out there, I'm not going to like I was about to go to a Trader Joe's, man. They had like a line out the place, man. I was like, I ain't going here today. Yeah.
Yeah, the same with me. I went about 3 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And I got out, looked, I was like, hell no. I ain't standing in no line like. And now they got the drones and stuff outside their stores. So, you might not ever see me in Trader Joe's ever again. If they are allowing that to be built on their property, so the 5Gs and all that. So, I haven't been in about a month because of those lines. I'm not standing on line.
Yeah, just to get in. Just to get into the store. Yeah. And these linemen and people, it's this 6 feet away stuff and the mask, and I'm like, man, it's just so ridiculous. Sickening. I'm like
Trader Joe's, say trader not to Joe's. I'm not trading at Joe's. So.
And then another part. So bars should remain closed. So first phase, The bars are going to remain closed. Probably a lot of restaurants. Let's see. Let me see if it didn't really say. They ain't really talking about restaurants.
Hey, you can't get a drink.
And right, yeah, you can't get a drink. Let's see, all the vulnerable. Phase 2. So they'll open up. But they change the wording a little bit. So they say, let's see, schools. Okay, so schools and organized youth activities can reopen. Visiting senior care facilities should still be prohibited. And those who do interact with the residents and patients must adhere to strict protocols regarding hygiene. Large venues can operate under moderate physical distancing protocols. So that's the wording here. Moderate physical distancing protocols. Elective surgery.
What does that mean?
That's why I'm pointing that out. It's not defined. It means whatever they want it to mean. So gyms can so back in phase 1, gyms can open back up, but they'll have strict physical distancing and sanitation protocols. So phase 2, bars may operate with diminished standing room occupancy where applicable and appropriate. So if there's no one in the bar, you can go.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Can the band play?
Of course not. They'll probably they'll come up with something where public establishments will have to put stuff on the floor, like distance, like 6 feet apart, little markers, and you had to be. And a lot of these bars, there ain't no room for bands to be 6 feet apart per musician, and so that'll be scrapped. There ain't gonna be no music in no place for a long time.
If you come in with say you and your lady come in for a drink, y'all gotta sit 6 feet apart.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of logic. That's the kind of logic that's happening here. And I also want to say too, again, using their logic, because you gotta analyze things from the perspective of your oppressor. A lot of people aren't doing that today. They're trying to come at things from all these other angles and all these and I'm saying let's get inside the head of the oppressor and look at it from there and use that logic. And so logically, when you look at all this, if you believe, again, we'll go with them. If you believe that there is a virus and that it's going around, there's no way for you to not catch it.
Right.
These distancing, all this is supposed to cut down on the amount of people that would be rushing a hospital at one time so that they wouldn't overwhelm the hospital system. But they've been trying to say, well, this is how you don't get it. But logically speaking, unless you really do, from their perspective again, unless you really do lock yourself for the next 18 months until the vaccine is available and comes out, unless you really, really stayed, you didn't go to the store, you didn't go to Baskin Robbins, you didn't do anything for 18 months, you probably will get the virus. But they're not they're basically saying, oh, we can do the curve and flatten the curve, and this is no, and again, using their logic, everybody would get it unless you have. There's only two options. You either at some point will get the virus because it's too viral, no matter how much social distancing people would be getting it until we have 18 months and, Lord and Savior Gates can come down and provide everybody with the Kool-Aid.
Okay, so if they're saying, well, the cure is not there, the vaccine is not there, how is people that is getting the virus and
recovering from it.
Yeah. What is that about?
Well, that's about logic that makes this entire thing even more ridiculous. Because just like, people get people get the flu, they get bronchitis. I used to have bronchitis every year. Before practicing the mucusless diet, I had, for like 4 years in a row, I had bronchitis where that took me out of school for like 2 weeks at a time. And I suffered and I sat there, I'm like, it's like, 16, 17 years old, coughing up the greenest of green slime and brown and green, that old gutter slime. That was I went through that every year, along with all just the general cold and flu-like symptoms. Now, I haven't experienced nothing like that, those type of eliminations for almost 20 years. So it's for 17 years practicing the mucusless diet. Except for them first couple years of getting out that stuff, I ain't have that. I don't have none of that kind of stuff. I haven't had a cold and flu-like symptom. I had kind of did the math. I think it's been 3 years, and I'm not scared of them. I'm like,
I happen to be privileged to be around you at the
in the early phase, my phase one of my transition, when I was,
it wasn't a pretty sight,
when I was getting out gallons and gallons of mucus daily, and that's not even an exaggeration. I mean, it was coming out of me like a faucet, and
but that just shows you everybody's elimination is a little different. And to watch that kind of elimination, people really don't understand, because they don't want to follow through with the practice of the mucusless diet as far as going through these eliminations. Is that when you go through that kind of elimination, it's almost kind of like the rites of passage. And Spira had that kind of elimination, and it got better. And he's never had that kind of elimination since.
Right. No.
It might be eliminations going on, but
not like that. Yeah, like I said, that when I had like a minor, it was like a little cold and flu-like symptom for maybe 2 or 3 days, and I did exactly what Q's talking about in his new video, where he was making the broth. I was juicing, and I would take the pulp and freeze it, and then I'd make these big vegetable broth. And so I was doing basically juices. It's just a liquid fast. I wasn't doing a fruit juice fast. I just wanted to get this stuff out my system. It only took a couple days, whereas that type of elimination 20 years ago would take me 2 weeks. And I ain't that, and ever since them first couple years, I ain't had not like that, not mucus elimination, not that kind of, cold flu-like symptoms. And
exactly what happens. That's exactly what happens when you start getting that stuff out. I mean, it's accumulated, and that's why we talk about the enemas. Is just imagine if you wouldn't have been doing the enemas, but you would have been on the transitional diet. It would have been a little different, little different elimination.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you could have been on the transitional diet without doing the enemas. It wouldn't have looked the same. It'd be a whole different kind of real more viscid type of elimination. So the enemas are like the hand and glove. Yeah. To this thing that neutralizes you and really it helps your transition go smooth, man. So you won't drown in your own mucus and your own waste.
Right.
So
that's the thing. So that's the Ohio 3 phases, which even in the end they still are saying large venues. The wording for that is under limited physical distancing protocols. So limited, they'll still be there. You still can't, if you walk up to a member of the opposite sex wanting to holler, you're gonna have to, maintain, the music is, the music is going, and you'd be like, hey.
Say it ain't so, man. You can't hit on women anymore.
What's your name? I like your dress.
Lock it
in. Yeah. Can I get your number?
Well,
what you doing? What you doing afterward?
20 more people will hear it,
Yeah, everybody will be. And I posted up, which I won't play it now because I don't want to get a little copyright thing as it's a movie. But I on my Instagram, you can go see it on the Prof.Spira Instagram. Is the clip of this movie back from 1993 called Demolition Man. And there's a part, because that's another kind of dystopian future kind of vibe. And they outlawed sexual intercourse in the movie, and they were saying, and they started going through these it's first it was AIDS, then it was this disease, and it was almost the extermination of humanity. And so they outlawed sex, and so they was just having this virtual reality kind of sex, and the dude, because he's the main character he'd been frozen through all the years, for like 100 years or something, and or 70 years. So he didn't know all these new customs. And so, but the direction that things are going now, that's the extreme of where it could go.
Well, and I imposed that on myself.
But
I don't want no part.
Well,
I don't want no part of a pussy. I don't want no pussy.
Well, yeah, but this is
you don't have to worry about me, bro.
Yeah.
I can.
So, so you're down for the because basically the way that they grow children, that's how they, just like in Brave New World, they grow. There's no births happen anymore. It's all they sort of grow and each sort of genetically modify each embryo to be the right level, and for the caste system, and that type of thinking is we're at the embryo stage of that. That's
so that's embryology at its worst.
Yeah.
At its worst. Like they come up with the information on that end, where embryology should be studied on another level of trying to regenerate it, where their whole thing is always about degenerating everything that it touches. And deaf culture in effect.
Yeah.
And don't play into it, try to play out of it, and try to, this is your chance to create your own life culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same way that those folks over in Europe wanted to try to develop America and come to, the way that they did it. Yeah. I don't agree with, but a new beginning, I'm down.
Yeah. Well,
and we're saying physiology is the new beginning. That's the first step in the new beginning.
Yeah. This I've been doing this hashtag. A whole brave new world, which for people, there's the song "A Whole New World" that was in the movie Aladdin, and then the book Brave New World for anybody that doesn't know all those references. But that's the a whole brave new world. That's what we're looking at now.
That's what we're looking at, and you have to be brave to brave it. You know, can't be no coward. Can't be, what you say, the meek will inherit the earth, not by being meek.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, that is it. It's time to mount up, you know, get our really get ourselves together.
Let's come up with these plans, man. Let's come up with who's ready to work, who's ready to do some work.
Yeah.
That's why I was talking about the campsite, man. We, you know, okay, you know, they done threw a little crip in our little plans. Okay, well, you know, our chess move is we do this. We, you know, we'll meet, you know, and we'll start working directly on the move. You know, like, you know, let's get to nature as soon as possible. Let's get going. You see, they ain't waiting on us. They telling you, bro, if you stupid enough to believe all this foolishness and to buy into it, look, we will take you out with the quickness. Just cough. I dare you.
Right. Yeah. Just cough. We gonna, you know, we gonna.
I dare you to cough. I dare you to sneeze. We got something for your ass.
Yeah. I mean, it's like we said. It's about to. You know, I'm just hoping we get enough
Trader
people.
Joe, every time you show that, Trader Joe, say it ain't so.
I mean, the thing is, but they might not even gave permission to film like that, because that's what I'm saying. It's a township. I don't think they really had a choice, because they're not the actual cameras aren't on Trader Joe property. They. You know, and it's a drone, you know, so it's not just a camera. It's dry. It's moving around. Yeah. You know, and so that's the thing. Like, okay, you can't. So I guess certain sports you're not gonna be able to play. You know, no basketballs out. You know, all them kind of sports. You know, that's too much.
Maybe baseball, but you know, if somebody hit it in the gap, I guess the second baseman and the shortstop just gonna let it go.
Well, they could ban, like, you know, contact, like you can't slide, you can't, you know, you used to, when I played baseball, I used to just
stupidity, man. This is just ridiculous. It's just stupidity.
Yeah.
That's just, I mean, how you gonna just change the game like that? Like, you know, you can't do it. I mean, come on.
Well, I see the one, you know, the MMA cats. They're actually they're creating an island. Like they're going off of United States, and they're gonna do. They have put together this island. So they're gonna be having fights out there on this island, and nobody. They'll put like bags on people's head, like you can't know where it's at. You know, I mean, they're doing that type of vibe. You know, so I'm like, man, you know, that's interesting.
Is that the extreme fighting stuff?
Yeah, UFC, which is the funny story there is that Dana White gave Hanif that, you know, that donation when years ago when he played on the street, and remember where he was already like he was already packed up. And he didn't know who Dana White was, and Dana came up and was like, "Hey, you gonna play some music?" And Hanif's like, "Oh man, I'm packing up." Then Dana got out like $200, $100 bills and gave it to him. Like, "Well, what about now?" And Hanif's like, "All right, like, all right, let's we can do this." And
he ended up with 300.
Yeah. And he gave him another. Dana. You know, so Dana's like, he's just like, man, we gonna do this. Like, we are gonna do this. We don't care. You know, and so that's the attitude that we gotta have on our side of the fence. It was like, we gonna do what we gonna do, and you know, not worry about the nuttiness. And I was gonna find
Well, you know, I mean, comes down to how do you start the new life culture? How do you start it? How do we formulate it? Who's gonna govern it? What's like I say, there's not a leader, but there's an idea that leads. And you build it that way with like say leaders. You don't need them, but you do need ideas that will lead. And you have to.
Now I don't know if you can see this. Is this these car lines? This is in Pittsburgh. I remember when this is like the old soup kitchen lines back in the Depression. Well, now we got hundreds and hundreds of cars. All these people lined up just to get some food because they don't got money. Enough money for food. How you gotta be hungry to be in this line?
Where are they going?
To a food bank to get food.
Oh, a food bank. Oh,
yeah, wow. like a free store food bank.
Oh wow.
Because I'm trying to think how hungry would I have to be to actually sit through this. 'Cause I don't like lines. I don't like lines anyway. So I'm like, if this was it, I definitely would be fasting.
That would probably take all day, man.
Hours, yeah.
Wow. That's like you say. How hungry would you have to be?
That's and this is even older. This was like March 31st when this was airing, and
you sure they didn't take that and change it to like a race car event, and showing us, I don't know. And then what were they giving away? I guess like boxes of Cheerios.
Boxes of food. So here, this is in California. The same stuff that they give away at the free store food bank. I grew up eating some of that stuff. I was with my mom. She would, and of course I made me eat it. She didn't eat it, and but it was like, just garbage. And most of it was like stale. It'd be like, because there would be potato, chips in there, weird brands of cereal and canned meat, Spam and tuna. Stuff that like the expiration date is right. Yeah, just right before you get it. It's right there.
So you saying that stuff say expiration date be like 3-4 years, man. And they get it right down to that week, huh?
yeah, where they just like right there.
Yeah.
And,
wow.
So here's folks lined up trying to get some food. Thousands line up at U.S. food banks due to the COVID-19 lockdown.
They're giving plenty of meat away, I bet.
I don't know. They actually closed down some meat plant that.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So much.
Somebody got infected, right? They were saying.
The conspiracy theory angle to that is that, with Gates and them trying to usher in the lab grown meat, which that was one of my one of the only I've had a handful of videos that's been taken down, and that to me was one of the most egregious of all the videos that I've ever made on YouTube that was taken down. Was like 2012. I was criticizing lab grown meat. And I used a couple clips from a BBC documentary. This was way before anybody was even talking about it or even saw it on the horizon. And I was like, I bet in about 10 years they'll get the infrastructure together and they'll put all the funding together, and we're gonna start to see lab grown meat being sold, and they'll try to transition to that. But pus is pus. So whether you grow it in a lab from some specimens or you eat it, you kill the animal, pus is pus in your body. And so, but the BBC took that, made me take it down. They didn't make me, I didn't take it down. They took it down. They they ordered YouTube to have it, taken down, and so that was, and because it was starting to blow up, that was actually going viral. That was like, I mean, it had like 10,000 something, in a couple days. My videos don't usually do that. And so it was actually, so I've definitely, my over the years, there's been a lot of restriction, that in them kind of games that YouTube has played, and just the social media in general. And there's like stuff behind the scenes that you don't always see, but it's like, they've done their best to suppress the message that we have. And but we haven't, we just keep going. Is we don't care if there's 10 people that's listening. Or
they tell us to shut down. We'll be right back the next day.
Yeah, right. We'll be right back the next day. And so so it's whoa, come on, give us a good image of this. Okay. This is kind of that same footage, just all these, but I mean, man, in line trying to get this, get the food. Yeah,
what do you say? The windshield wiper fluid juice, the blue juice, you dig, and the Cheerios and the Chip Ahoy, and I just saw some orange drink somewhere here. Orange drink. We don't want no juice. We want some drink. Grape drink.
Yeah.
We want no juice.
But these are just like the things I used to get. We'd get it every Christmas. My mom, you go down to the, and that's something as for the other children that has experienced like being a child and going into the free store food bank. Then on top of that, if you're a little dark-skinned child with the white mom going down there, and she was always able to cut in line because she would use her like I'm handicapped type of thing. So there would be like a line that looked like the lines here, like an hour wait, and we'll walk right past that line and go into like this alternate, like handicap line, and and just people, man, that was just rough as a child, just because people, I didn't understand what was going on, man, and people are I'm just getting the craziest of. That's why honestly, man, that's probably why I'm so comfortable with the, practicing the diet and being on the outskirts. That's where I've always been. I've always lived on the outskirts of society and not felt like I belong anywhere. That's not new to me. So I don't miss, people meant like I miss my friends and I miss my family. I don't miss nothing because it's always been like that for me. Man, people looked at me like I was a Martian, man, from way young. Yeah, just the circumstances I was in. So it's sometimes it's harder. It is a little harder for me, I think, to really understand and empathize with some folks are going through when they are trying to split themselves from like family and old friends and that kind of thing.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing about family. With you, with myself, we have family. With me, family, all my elders have passed now. The last one passed, she was 94. She passed about, I think in January. And that was the last elder in my family that I really knew well, really was really close to. And then the people my age, there's a tier of cousins that's maybe 15 years older, and I don't relate to them, and it's a few of them, and then it's my age people, and I don't relate to them at all. So, and then the young kid, then our kids, my cousins, and I don't, the real younger ones, 20, 30, I don't know them. So
yeah.
It's very easy not to You know, because I just don't know them. You know, I see them at the store or something and speak. They'd be like, "Oh, hey," you know, and that'd be about it. So, I think it's just because growing up, man, I knew a million people. I was super popular. You know, just always had friends over to the house, on the phone, anywhere I went. You know, I mean, I could go in any neighborhood, know new people. You know, I mean, we just used to get out like that growing up. I mean, that was how, you know, and so to really get into yourself, and when I decided to clean myself up, you have to do that. It's not like you are choosing people that you are trying to not be around. You just don't go around folks no more. When I stopped drinking, didn't have a reason to go in the bar, and I didn't go in bars unless it was music anyway. You know, unless somebody was playing or else I was playing. So, and then I got so hardcore that I stopped going in bars as a musician. Now I was like, man, I just really had to follow my heart with that. Like something was telling me, man, if I was gonna be serious, then I was gonna have to put it all on the line. So I put my whole career on the line. Like, you know, I'm not going in bars. I believe in this physiology move. I thought when I got a hold of the Mucusless Diet and really got into it after about 5 or 6 years of really I was like, okay, I'm really seeing the results of cleaning myself up and practicing this thing. So now it's time for me to make the commitment. It's almost like the gift has been given. Now I have to give back. You know, I have to, like, okay, I'm not going in bars, you know. So it's like, you know, people calling for gigs or whatever, and you just turning things down. Then it got to a point where I was just totally off the radar after I done turned down everybody that used to contract me out to do things. The word got in play no more, you know. And so I was still playing, but if you had a outdoor festival or something, I would do that, you know, a college campus thing or something. But, you know, it was just something that, and I didn't go into a bar until probably my son had started showing, I know what it was. I went in the bar, Chuck. I went in the bar with Chuck, riding with Chuck. My car broke down, and I think I told you the story about when Chuck got in Whipple's face.
Yeah.
You know that I was riding with Chuck, but Chuck kind of tricked me in because my car was down, so he was giving me a ride to the grocery store. So I'm out, and he's like, hold up, let me run in here real quick. So I'm sitting outside, and he's like, man, come on. And that was how I started going back in bars. And you know, it was funny, man. That was kind of funny, you know. Started seeing you at the, were you at the Harmony? You wasn't at the Harmony Club, were you?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah,
So
I used to start. Yeah, I'd started going to the Harmony Club, and yep, that was because I was. Yeah,
hey, where is this at, man? I'm looking
that's the remember when I went and I filmed y'all at the Levee?
Oh, was that at the Levee? Okay, that was. Oh, okay. I'm looking at the kid. I was like, wow, that's the stuff that burnt up, right?
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Like that was a while ago. So, yeah, and but yeah, man. I mean, it's like to make these life changes. You and I know people are fearful of things that they might feel like they're gonna miss out on. But where this thing is going, where this thing is going, if you deal with it now, your future, you will have a future.
Right.
If you deal with it now. You might not know where it's going now and what it looks like, but you will definitely have a future. And so, all that fear, all that fear that you, because people, man, are afraid, man, of change and their finances and, and these jobs that they can't stand. I mean, they really, man, a lot of folks can't stand their jobs, and they've actually tried to make themselves believe that they like having a boss.
Right.
Nobody like having no boss. I don't like having a boss. Do you like having a boss?
No.
Nobody like having no boss. And but the things that this society has made us, very docile and very giving into those kind of emotions and positions that we will take in our lives, So this is a good time, man, to cut a lot of ties, man. We say go to the wilderness. Just turn away and walk away. Just walk away.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought there's some van, kind of van. There's like a vehicle, like van life movement. There's a whole, bunch of people that are, especially like older people, retired. They're just like, they're selling everything, buying a vehicle and living in the vehicle, and it's a thing, and it's like they got a little community going on. That's the vehicle livers, and they go off into and they're saying basically their life hasn't changed at all, because the ones that are involved, if you go kind of the more western part of the United States, there's a lot of public lands that you can, if you got a vehicle, you legally can go there and you can park wherever you want and set up camp. And the only restrictions are something like the number of days you can be in one place. So you can't really, like 15 days and you got to like move a mile down the road or something, so you ain't like having a residency. But there's only one place in Ohio where you can do it, and there's a national forest. There's only one national forest in Ohio, so you can boondock like that in national forest and public lands. So you can just show up. So we talking about area. I mean, well, you can you could pick a public land and just show up, somewhere like here's the latitude and longitude. This is where we're gonna be. We show up, and so there's that type of vibe.
That don't take a lot to plan, other than individually planning your equipment that you would need to do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's just sort of the camp vibe. That's
camp vibe.
So I mean, for me, that's I mean, that's that's nothing. That's easy, but because I'm gonna be doing that anyway myself. I want to start really I'm about to jump in this van and just be like, all right, I'm gonna be out here somewhere, hit these, especially I said these forests, because they're still open. They're open to that. The campsites are closed down, but the public land aspect of it, many of them are still, it's like, because it's national forests and there's open land, so you if there's a road, you can get there. And, So that's already
that's what I was feeling, man. I was like, okay, let's this is one of our moves, let's see, let's get more intense than we were planning to. Quicker now. Now they've really like made us have to, make a move quicker. Like, oh wow, okay, so we thought the end of the world we had a little time. We thought we had a little time for the end of the world.
Yeah, we had a little more time, to kind of transition. Yeah. And let's see.
Yeah, but we don't. So it's here. Let's work with it. So I'm ready, man. I'm ready in any direction, to kind of make up something and just kind of get on with this big romance, So, cause this other thing, man, is just a lose-lose situation. If you buy into this and you buy into this society that they're trying to put together, you're a loser. You're gonna lose. You're gonna be on the losing end of whatever they're trying to put forth.
Yeah.
You're gonna be on the losing end. You really don't have a choice but out. Nobody wants to die. I mean, not if you somewhat sane. You don't want to die. So they didn't just emotionally and spiritually making you feel.
Well, I mean, here's the question: what's worse, death or slavery? Being a slave,
Well, I think we've been through it. We've seen this. This is what happens when you remain a slave. This is the next phase.
Right.
This is the next phase. So you're not going to have a choice about death or slavery. You're not going to have that choice. That's what this is about. You're not having a choice.
Right.
Right. They're going to have some well-placed drone human.
Yeah.
In place, they'll have some worker bees.
Oh yeah, because if they're picking up, if the technology's at the point, they're picking up all your facial recognition and all that body language, so they'll read, like if somebody's starting to think suicidal thoughts and they're about to do something, boy, they'll read that and they'll be like, they take them away. Got the 1984. Take them over here. Let's do the let's do the purity little rat test.
Yeah.
And put their greatest fear in their face and the re-education type of camp. For those pesky resistors. We get they got something for you. And
I mean. These folks are coming up with any kind of sinister type of reality for you. I mean, it's almost like their playground.
Yeah.
Like that kind of,
like it's that type of
it's that kind of sinister thing, man, that they're like getting off on, man. They're literally getting off on this, man. And especially the first few weeks when wasn't nobody really opposing them,
right?
In this country at all.
No, not at all.
We was like asleep in the house watching Netflix with the popcorn,
right,
thinking this was a slumber party and a sleepover. You dig? So now now folks is a little bit of cabin fever setting in, and they want to come out, but those folks that was out there up in Columbus, they can be lured in with hamburgers and hot dogs.
Right. It's like, if they set up, it's like, okay, the protest is scheduled for 1:00 and they at 12:30, they got like a little hamburger stand over here,
hamburgers and hot dogs,
like, hey, hamburger, and they'll be like, well, wait, I can
peanuts,
popcorn,
and
they get distracted and be like, oh,
they go to protest. Now they protesting in lounge chairs,
they they got the loud chairs, eating hot dog while they, like this is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy, as you eating the hot dog.
And then at the end of the chant is
Yeah. Oh man.
It's like, okay, all right, here we go, boy. Constipated, a constipated movement.
Yeah, constipated. Yeah, it's like a painful movement. Painful
movement. It's a constipation, and say a movement. Say you wonder why the movement can't move because everybody's constipated.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's heavy, man. So, I mean, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna react? What are we gonna believe? Who are we gonna blame?
Mm-hmm.
For these lies, and where it started at over in
in Wuhan, China.
And the lie started there with you remember when you showed the wet market?
Mm-hmm.
And and the picture that would be on the YouTube would be a picture of the video, would be a picture of it looked like rats.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the difference between rats and chicken?
Right.
What's the difference in eating that?
Or rats or bats. Don't forget the bats.
Or chicken or steak. Or what's the difference? I mean, we try to say that this flesh eating is barbaric. That flesh eating is barbaric.
Right. Yeah. There's double type of. I mean, talk about double standard. Dog, because they had everything happening here. They got the dog, cat, no discrimination. Because if you're gonna eat meat, don't be eat meat. If you're right.
And meat is meat, and then if you are slipping, you will end up seeing some human meat in there.
Right.
So don't be surprised when you see Joe or whoever, and you see a side of Joe.
Yeah.
Butt cheek and thigh and feet. And you'd be like, man, I wonder how he tastes. He was a really nice person. I wonder how he tastes.
Right. Yeah.
You can be talked into it. That's what they'll do. You can be talked into it. And especially with Africa, man, what they're trying to do in South Africa with not a bunch of cases have been reported, but the one place that's the highest place that the virus is reported is in South Africa, and South Africa has the most 5G places where they've assembled the towers. So with Africa, I equate Africa. Anytime you start talking about Africa, you talking about body parts. Same way we're looking at these parts.
Mm-hmm.
So when you talk about Africa, believe me, you're talking about body parts. When they go and just like the Ebola was Siberia, where all the that was the first breakout of the Ebola virus, was get all them black folks up off all them diamonds and gold. They could come in, then these people are just insane, man. Look, what is that? Is that like doo-doo chips?
Those are those are frogs.
Frogs. Woo.
Yeah. Yeah, they got every. You talking about when you see. Who wants the cats? Who wants to eat the cute kittens? Who wants that?
Well, if
come on now.
If it's not your pet,
God,
I remember my sister said that she moved into a condo where they had a little pond and it had ducks, and she wondered, days by days went by, weeks, and the ducks was disappearing. But they had a big Asian population over there that was buying the condos, and they were grabbing the ducks out of the pond and cutting the heads off and eating them. This was just up in Columbus.
Yeah.
So, it's like, if a wet market can exist, a market with selling human body parts could exist.
Oh yeah, I mean, and there's a history of that. I mean, that ain't even
yeah. We just not exposed to it, but it's there.
Yeah.
You can go get you some legs and some knuckles and some elbows and some chest cavities. I mean, these people are sickening, man. I mean, this pus and mucus has done a job on creating gas pressure on the brain, man. The best acid couldn't give you a trip like dead animal flesh and mucus. I mean, that stuff makes you just go crazy. And when it gets in your bloodline for centuries and centuries and centuries, it just creates right where we're at, right where we're at. Got the revenge of the nerds, bunch of pus and mucus eaters who are coming up with just the stupidest. It's not even smart. It's not even smart on no level. They couldn't explain this to anybody who has any amount of sense. They couldn't explain this and make it sound logical on no level. Bill Gates sounds like a fool trying to explain that. I've heard him. He sounds like a fool. Him and his wife's foundation and what they are striving to do.
Yeah.
They sound like fools.
And I brought up, so instead of just finding a random, this is an academic article talking about white cannibals, black martyrs, fear, depression, and religious faith as causes of suicide among new slaves. Just wanted to, because a lot of people, if I was to just say that without some kind of, like, there is a history of Europeans eating African captives, that, you're blah, 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 blah. Well, okay, then here's do your research then, and you can look at all of, since you respect the academic articles so much, then go on ahead and read up a little bit and see see that there ain't nothing new. This ain't like this was a long time ago.
You're asking people to read and to do research. That they want Fox News to tell them what's going on. They don't look to Mucus-free Life to listen to what we're talking about. They want, but I mean, the people who are on the chat, and people who check us out, I mean, they're readers, so
yeah,
and they know we come in peace, and we don't speak with no forked tongue. So we would like to think that we are helping them to not have to do as much research. We find it for you,
Right.
And so, and keep doing research and help us. Send it to us where we can inform ourselves if we don't know about everything, because we don't know about everything. But we know that this is rotten to the core. What's going on in the world today? This is rotten to the core.
Yeah.
This is rotten to the core.
Yep. That is very true. And so all what we can do is keep focusing on our own physiology, but then come together and do this work.
That's it, man. I mean, blood, reconstruct the bloodstream, try to become the human that, it's like that perfection that you can become. It's possible. And you got to be on your rituals. You gotta. That's why we were asking for the donations. Like, hey, keep us on our rituals.
Yeah.
We don't want to have to, stop our rituals. Our financial rituals. Which is, myself and Spira, I would have to say we really trimmed down our living in terms of, we don't live these grandiose lives.
Yeah.
We're right, we're right there to exactly what we need,
Yeah.
And we don't have the big flat screens all over the house and this and that, we just don't live like that. I don't have a television at all. So, and boy, I give thanks for getting out of that kind of social engineering wavelength when I did, almost 30 years ago. I give thanks for that, because the things that I hear and it shows me a lot of folks, being on social media, just the way people think. It's almost like, now I have to admit, being single, I would talk to women, have conversation with women. It's almost like most women, it's like talking to television.
Talking to a television?
Talking to a television, yeah. And I don't watch television, but I get the impression it's almost like it's this very predictable type of answers and programming has occurred, and it's sad, man. You try to, and people don't realize how much. Well, I don't watch that. Everybody always say that. Everybody got a television, say they don't watch television.
Right.
Well, I have one, but I barely turn it on. No, I don't have one. I don't want one. I'm not barely turning it on. I don't need one. It's like, I don't want to watch commercials. I don't want to watch the sporting events. See, that's another thing that men, serious men, as much as myself and Spira love sports. We love sports. Spira was a football player. I played baseball, football, basketball. I watched the whole Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson thing in the NBA growing up. Just all of that, man. Julius Erving, and oh man, for us to put that stuff down so that we could educate ourselves. That's the only way you're gonna educate yourself. You got to give it up. You got to give up things that you love. You got to give it up.
Yeah.
And I love music, man. I was willing to give up the music to get this physiology piece.
Yeah.
Not walking in a bar saying, well, it was like, the bloodstream, learning about my bloodstream and cleaning myself up was, I had to give up what I love because I love myself more than anything. You did. So it was easy for me to, people talk about the Super Bowl and basketball. I don't know who them guys are. I see them on YouTube because I have a YouTube feed. And but that's the thing, is why would I want television? I got internet.
Yeah. That's the whole, the on-demand type of vibe is where it's at.
It's on demand whenever. I could watch a lecture. I could watch something as silly as Professor Spira bringing up some of those silly videos. he can find the silliest shit. was the guy sitting in the spaghetti tub?
Yeah, there's the spaghetti guys. Yeah, we got the the ice cream on the bottom, all the little babies ice cream commercial.
The eating the guys the eating hot dog competition. That used to crack me up when you used to send me that. I'd just be like, man, this is just sickening, Yeah. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. The sporting thing, man, it's like I would have a little bit more respect for the sports figures if they had a little bit of conscience. But they don't even have that. LeBron James and Kobe and them, man, they wasn't real. I mean, they were, their thing was, like to.
Well, I mean, you see what happens if you got a sports figure that has a little tiny pea size worth of consciousness. They'll just kick them out. We fire you. You're fired. That type of thing.
I've checked out there used to be a couple of Muslim basketball players, and when they changed their name to a Muslim name, they were pretty much ostracized.
Yeah.
So they knew they couldn't be bent in a certain direction, but. So that's why I don't support the sporting events and the whole sporting thing is because it's modern day slavery. NBA, baseball, it's so boring to watch. Baseball, that's just as boring as you can. I mean, that used to be a game that I love to play, but to watch it, oh man, I'd rather watch paint dry.
Yeah.
On a wall than football, man. It's like, think about having these big people running into you, seeing bones. You know how they'll show a bone get broken and they'll keep showing on the
yeah.
Like, man, his leg just turned completely around. They keep showing that.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like,
well, they're just. It's like every hit is like it's just like a little mini car crash.
Yeah.
So you having
running into guys, man,
dozens of car crashes,
hurting you. Like, I want to hit this guy. I mean, you remember the what was it called, the thing that you learn how to block on?
Sled.
Yeah, the sled.
Yeah.
And then your coaches would be standing.
Yeah, they standing on there like mush, dogs, mush. They're come on. You're like trying to
And they have a little hill to it. It'd
be
like a little hill. It wouldn't be a steep hill. It'd be a little hill.
Up the hill.
And you're just trying to like bang into this thing and pop it back. That was a sign that you hit it right, that you really popped it back. And I'm like, man, that's what you're trying to do to another human being, man. You talking about constipation to the 10th power.
Yeah.
And I want to hurt somebody like that, and will hit them and get up and walk to the sidelines and start slapping hands. Like, man, I almost paralyzed this guy, or I did paralyze this guy. You did, and I seen plenty of that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was in a game and I was playing defensive end, and the play was the quarterback goes back, the halfback pulls for a screen. As defensive back, I'm supposed to pull with the halfback.
Yeah.
I pull with the halfback. He has the jump for the ball, and he caught it, and I just took his left. I mean, he must have flipped like twice. I was like running, like it was like the perfect get up about 10 yards of speed, and I came up under him.
Yeah.
And man, they ended up calling the ambulance.
Yeah, he went to the hospital.
I don't know if that guy ever recovered, because we didn't keep up with guys, but
right.
I just, just thinking back on that, man, and everybody's high-fiving me, and my partner who we rode with, his mother took about 10 of us to Skyline.
Right, yeah, you might have ruined someone's life. Good job.
Yeah, it's like, man, that hit, man. Well, you got, it was like, so it's like this whole morbid, don't care about nobody but your ass type of attitude, is rewarded as you move through life, and then you start, well, now I have to look for a job, and I mean, my thing was music, so but I'm just talking about those attitudes of people who had to, look for jobs.
Well, put it like this: if sports taught people individuality and how to think for themselves in society and not and resist taking orders, there would be no sports in the United States of America.
Yeah.
There would be no football, because those the structure of most sports that are team sports is all about that that hierarchy and that general, that army like discipline and taking orders. And so it gets you ready, for whether there's the way that they roll with it here, so you can have a lot of impoverished people that their chance to make it is, okay, I'm a invest in sports like this. I'm good at it.
They try to pull that.
Yeah, they try to do that. And so a very less than 1%, a very small percentage will then make it to college, and then even smaller percent they could actually do it professionally.
You're talking like maybe 1,200 pro jobs.
Yeah. I mean, nothing. Yeah, it's just, some minuscule. So you have a lot of people that have been put through these high school and college sports programs, and a lot of those poor folks, they kind of they end up just well, they're looking at their options, and it's well, let me join the military, because that's not because I really want to and because I really I'm really a believer in in serving the country. It's I feel like I have to, because it's either do that or I don't necessarily work at McDonald's, and that kind of, and so you go off in that direction.
Or play the lottery.
Man, who does it? People still play the lottery? So I never was into. I don't understand the lottery culture at all. I just don't get it.
It's the last vestige of being millionaires for people, especially the older people.
Yeah, but you're not gonna win. It's not a.
But I mean, they play and they win. I remember my mother, man. She used to win, $400, $200, quite often. And but I always used to say, I always used to tell my mother, I said, how could you play lottery and you living in somebody else's reality?
Mm-hmm.
You dig? Because the lottery, every day it starts out at 0, and every day it's just think of this was like the numbers in the black community. Pick a number. It starts out at 0. Nobody has nothing on the numbers side, and then you have all these people who are trying to hit that one number. So now, if you can make $10,000 in your little community that day, I give somebody $1,000.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The winner can if I started out with nothing today and all I gotta do is, and I end up with $10,000 today, and all I gotta do is give somebody $1,000
to make them happy. Yeah,
I'll do that every day.
Yeah. I mean, that's like you said, sickening. And,
so I mean, that's and the lottery is that just the lottery. They took it from the black hands going into the to bring, you know, going into the hole to pick out the little ping pong ball or whatever. They didn't want to see a black hand do it.
Oh yeah, with the models.
So, So Lotto, you know, took it over and put it in the States, and you know, so they were all right with seeing white folks do it. You know.
What you talking about? People like running like local lotteries or something?
We talking about the numbers in the black community. That was how black folks used to make money, and you know, in the black community, it wasn't sanctioned by any kind of government. It was just
like running the numbers.
Running the numbers, yeah. And I remember that. I remember being in Cleveland and you know, knock on the door, guy open the little, you know, I mean, like really, man, it was like, like this stuff really exists, you know. So so the numbers, so the lottery is that. I mean, you know, like you can, I mean, well, it's up to 200 million. Well, yeah, if I started out with nothing, and I end up making damn near, you know, almost whatever it is they make. I mean, if it's 200 million, they make 500 million. I'll give somebody 200.
Right.
I'll happily share that. You know, if I can start out with nothing, it's like the perfect scam, man.
Yeah. They, I mean, the best.
You don't even have to have no money to invest. Other than on that level, you have to buy the machines and put them in the stores.
Yeah.
That's about the only thing that you'd have to invest, based on where the local numbers in the black community, they didn't have anything to, you know, they didn't have machines or anything. They just, it was a number, and then they post it, and you look and be like, oh, my number came out. Then the guy came around and paid you.
Yeah.
So we still have the same kind of thing, man, that not just black folks, white folks, man, we buy into all of this stuff, man. It's like deaf, dumb, and blind, man. That's the culture. That's the culture. Deaf, dumb, and blind culture. That's the culture. Deaf culture. And so it's nothing to be happy about. We're not doing good on no levels, man. Don't let these fools in these colleges with these graduations make you think that we're doing good.
Well, there ain't gonna be graduations this year.
Well, that's what there you go. You see how that stuff can come and go with the quickness.
Yeah.
They didn't have a problem. They didn't have a problem shutting schools down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a minute, schools, this is where the young kids what do you say? Teach them well and let them lead the way.
Yeah.
You know, man, they didn't have a problem with shutting that shit down quickly. Like, forget the kids, you know. Yeah. Forget y'all. This is what's happening. You get in line, get you a mask.
Yeah, right. Get you a mask and go, you know, get in the food bank line. You know?
Yeah, get in the food bank line and hook it up, and start, you know, taking sides. You know, young people should definitely not be on the other end of this thing, man. They should be a little bit more astute to pick up on this, but most of them aren't. They're so you know, I think they've gotten a lot of their sharpness sharpened down based on that the music that they listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Just the vibe of it. I think it creates that docile type of sharpness, you know. It's like
it's not because I've noticed I kind of noticed that, and kind of the
it's not they're not sharp, man. They're not aware of you know, because the music is so interchangeable, and it has very little substance to it that they can take with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, no, you know, it's no stories are being told. kind of real. You know, at least it used to be a little anti-establishment, you know, kind of stuff happening. Now it's
feel. Yeah, the feel of I have to say that about what's happening in the drumming world with the drummers, the gospel chop drummers and things like that. And those guys are playing, man, but it's just so wait a minute, hold on.
What happened? What's going on?
Hold on.
I guess something I don't know, someone's at Brother Air's door. Something's going on, but so yeah, we are going to be wrapping up here soon. And I do want to thank everybody that has already donated and given. We really, really appreciate it. You know, it's going to help us out a lot. Because you know, things are getting rough. And
My bad. It started to rain, man. I didn't know. It started raining pretty hard.
Oh, okay.
Like, what was that hitting? I was like, man, what is hitting the?
Hitting outside, yeah,
yeah. And then I was like, wait a minute, somebody in here, you know?
Oh yeah. But I was just thanking everybody. We already got some donations that came in.
Oh,
and,
praise!
So
praise!
Definitely
Thank you.
Really thank everybody for.
We'll have lemons for another day.
Yeah, definitely.
Appreciate it.
And so yeah, we're gonna go on ahead and wrap this up. And you know, I think we said what we needed to say. And we showed what we needed to show.
What you say? The jig is up.
Yeah, the jig is up.
You know, we are trying to combat this thing in terms of picking up now and we're making our move, like the chess move. This is our move. So we're starting now.
Yeah.
We're starting now. We're building that life culture. You know, we've kind of been forced into a little earlier than we expected, but
it pushes, you know, pushing things in the direction that we got to go. You know, that we gotta. It's time to get serious and, like we say, do the work. And whoever does the work is gonna be the ones, you know, rewarded and involved. You know, because
so jump on board, man, and you know, just keep supporting Mucus-free life, checking us out, elevating us, you know, because we all are trying to get it together. So help us get it together by help educating us, you know, with your knowledge, and you know, it's a sharing thing. It's nobody has everything. It's a sharing thing. Bring something to the table. That's been me and Spira's piece. If you want to hang, you got to bring something to the table.
And we've been trying, you know, and that's what I've been real excited about, real happy with what like the work that folks have been doing in the research and development. We got Mucus-free Life Research and Development Team, and you know, and I created that because a lot of times, you know, people will, you know, it's like they want to have you know, if they like, well, if you want to, they want to have access or get closer, you know, so well, if you want to get close to me, that's the group, you know, because that's what I'm all about, you know, because I'm kind of in my element researching like that and being able to do that in a group and have people really serious about it, because it's hard to find people that's really serious about
and I'll tell you something that just between y'all, when Spira's talking about that, he's excited with me. He's like, whoever, he'd be like, man, it was good, man. It was cool. You know, this is his element. I mean, this is where he lives at, you know, as far as this kind of stuff that he did. I think this started out with the whole Wikipedia piece, right?
Yeah, we working on some things, you know, and it's still, the details are still kind of secret. I haven't really announced it publicly, like what we're really working on. It's one of them things you talk about after you do it. you know, so there ain't no in the kind of stuff getting in the way. But yeah, it's like, you know, but it's growing into, you know, just other elements, you know, and talking about just even skills, you know, how to putting together lectures, you know, how putting together, like, you know, just the educational process, and, you know, we getting into all those different topics, you know. And so it's really like, this is, you know, because we got to have all these skills, you know, we come together as a team to try and really educate the masses, you know, or more people than just a handful of people. You know, we got to, you know, really come correct.
Well,
and so
that's why when I got the idea about the camping, I kind of thought that was another way of doing something, like, you know, it might force our hand a little faster, or I don't know if people are feeling that, but I just, you know, kind of looking at the situation that we've kind of been forced into, and it just seems like the natural thing to do. You know, even if we don't do that for Eric Day, this might be something that we can hold, still do.
Well, yeah, like, yeah, hold a camp out. You know, just have a camp.
Just, you know, who can show up, you know, who can bring a tent and a sleeping bag or whatever, and just listen.
Well, it's like I'm saying, there's them cats I was talking about earlier that do the you know, the little van life community. I mean, I think they do this like 2 week long. I don't know how long it is exactly, but I think it's like 2 weeks long, where they all meet, and it's like a secret spot that they don't find out where they're going until the week, like the day of, and it's like, okay, here's the latitude, longitude, and it'd be in the middle of the desert in Arizona somewhere, or, you know, and they go out and they hang for 2 weeks, you know, and just camping.
That's I mean, I don't really know anything about how to set it up in terms of you know, where to go or whatever, but people that's checking us out, they live all over the country. They might have some suggestions and some things, you know, if they're digging that, if they're like digging that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And then there might be some real camper people that's in our camp that we don't really know about. And this might draw them out. Like, oh man, camping, this is right up my alley. Like, you know, so yeah, you know, I kind of threw it out there. What do you think? You know, and we can make it happen. You know, so yeah, everything's good, man. We're on the same page as far as where this battle is. You know, and it's a battle for. I just hope people keep that in mind, that this is about the bloodline now. This is as heavy as it gets.
Yeah.
You know, this is a waging war on the bloodline. So, and for me, that means something. You know, I have a son. Hopefully he'll have some children. Maybe not. You know, I don't know about how he's kind of like, man, like, you know, but I mean, keeping the bloodline, man, just, you know, like, let's try to elevate the bloodline to mucuslessness. You know, I mean, like, just natural mucuslessness, natural mucuslessness, natural mucuslessness, natural mucuslessness. Now, I've done that because Q will take that and make it.
He'll take the, sample it.
So, okay, Q, we waiting on this. We waiting on the tune, man. Oh, man. So, yeah, man. I'm good, man, with what we did. I enjoyed it. I hope that we can come back and talk about some things that have elevated. Thank you once again for the donations.
Yeah, definitely.
Donate whatever you can, man, for for us, because this is how we do it.
Yeah.
And so they pretty much have kind of stalled us, but we can deal with it.
Yeah. We push on through.
Yeah. And let's create our culture, man. This is a beautiful time, man, because we can like telemate our culture, man. Just to what we want it to be.
Right.
So let's get busy, man. Let's be serious. Serious.
Most definitely.
All right.
All right. Man. So it's been great. As always, I think the 17th episode of the Mucus-free Life podcast. I thank Brother Air being on here. And we're going to have another live episode on, I think we're going to do a live on Thursday. I'm going to be interviewing Steve Prushek, the Juice Guru. And so I'm going to start trying to do some more interviews on these podcasts and talk with different folks in the community, and that's doing some great things. So that's gonna be coming up, and just stay on your post. As Brother Air says, we're gonna really do some important things. And now, like I said, it's about survival. We gotta get ourselves together, and don't let these folks dominate, just dominate us without any resistance, without any opposition. We have to really stand up to this kind of this kind of mess. So thank you so much for plugging in, and until next time, peace, love, and breath.